Hello and welcome to our on-demand webinar. My name is Mason Sugars and I'm the Product Marketing Coordinator for Aviation at Avlite Systems. Today leading our webinar will be Jason Larrere. Jason is the Regional Sales Manager for the Americas and he's going to discuss a little bit about LED PAPI and how it's better than halogen equivalents. Joining Jason today is Benjamin Camus. Benjamin is the sales for LATAM in the Caribbean and he's going to go into a little bit more depth about the technicalities of LED PAPI and what certificates it complies to. So with that, over to Jason.
Welcome, folks, to the Avlite PAPI webinar. My name is Jason Larrere. I'm joined here by Benjamin Camus. I'm located in New Hampshire, and Benjamin's calling in from Chile, South America. Today, we're going to go over the PAPI overview, how LED PAPI works, and an interesting case study here in the United States. We'll finish up with Benjamin talking about the features, options, and compliance of the Avlite Series 3 PAPI, and finish off with the value proposition over the lifetime of the product of an LED PAPI. Benjamin and I work for Avlite Systems, a world-class aviation lighting systems manufacturer with locations in Melbourne, Australia, New Hampshire, United States, and Lowestoft, UK. We specialize in airfield obstruction products and solutions and provide turnkey solutions for customers around the world. Our commitment to research and development, product innovation, and agile manufacturing has made us the industry leader in global aviation lighting, including a world-class FAA-certified precision approach path indicator. Some of our key capabilities is a vertical integration. We manufacture nearly every single part of the system, especially on our PAPI here in the United States. We have a purpose-built manufacturing facility in Australia that turns out upwards of 10,000 aids to navigation per year, and a multidisciplined engineering department and significant quality assurance capability. So traditional PAPIs have used halogen lights, whether voltage or CCR. They've had lamps instead of LEDs. Over the last decade, LED PAPI systems have entered the market and proven a tremendous value to customers, not only from the clear transition, but also from a maintenance perspective. PAPIs are not just an airfield ground lighting, they're actually part of the approach lighting system. The PAPI is there to tell a pilot where they are on the approach, requiring a very high level of care and maintenance and monitoring of the system. With that, traditional PAPIs have required extra lamps to work as built-in redundancy. So if a lamp went out on a 4 LH8 system, it could still work. Traditionally, there would be 4 LHAs, with each LHA having 3 lamps. The regulations would say that 1 lamp on each LHA could go out while the system was still available. With an LED system, that's not required, as the LEDs typically have a lifetime of 10 to 12 years. So how does an LED PAPI work? Just like a traditional incandescent system, it consists of light housing assemblies in either 2 or 4 units that split a red and white visual indication to the pilot. The PAPI emits a white light above the red light. So if a pilot's on approach and sees 2 white lights and 2 red lights going left to right, they know they're on their approach. For instance, 3 red lights and 1 white light would mean that they're too low on the approach. Conversely, if they saw 3 white and 1 red, they would be too high on the approach. So again, the PAPI is not an airfield ground aid, but actually part of the approach lighting system so that the pilot knows where they are in reference to the ground. And if they're on that 3 degree or 3.5 degree whatever the airport prescribes glide slope. LEDs have been around for a number of years, over 20 years in the airfield lighting industry. They've proven very, very valuable to the industry for reducing the requirement for lamp changes. They're provide a brighter, clear indication to the pilot, and they are incredibly efficient. In the case of the Avlite PAPI, you're taking a 1200 watt system traditionally with four 300 watt LHAs, coming down to a total of 220 watts or lower for a 4-box LED system. This has allowed solar to be a viable option for those users who require such a system. So let's go over a PAPI being used in the field. This was a very interesting project, a residential flying community with a lot of pilots, probably over 100 residents, using a solar runway lighting system, wireless solar runway lighting system with a wired PAPI. In this case, it was a 2-box PAPI given the usage cycle with small single engine and small multi-engine aircraft, a 3,100 foot runway. The airfield lighting was desired because the investment the residential air park had made didn't allow for night flying. And when Ablight talks about night flying, especially for private airfields, we're not talking about 1 a.m., 3 a.m. We're talking about just after sunset. And the access, a runway lighting system can provide opens up the air park for a full use instead of just daytime. And in this case, they added a 2-box PAPI on AC. So they chose the AC PAPI because of the low power consumption and the fact that they could get all their equipment from a single manufacturer. Now, from the safety aspect, there was power lines 1,700 feet from the approach end of the runway. So the PAPI was there to tell pilots whether they were on the approach or too low. So if they were too low, they were in danger of, striking those power lines. And with only 3,100 feet, the multi-engine aircraft you see in the picture below, you want to be on the approach so that you can use the shortest amount of runway possible. In this case, the PAPI was also on a pilot-activated lighting controller, which further reduced its operational consumption. Really, really helpful for the user. So as you can see in the picture, the Ablight Series 3 PAPI with a brand new foundation is giving pilots the situational awareness they need given the complexities of flying into this community. It can be dark at night, black hole syndrome, and the PAPI gives some reassurance during the day or night that the pilots are on the glide slope and can land directly on the threshold or the numbers every time. Also included in the system, as discussed earlier, was the pilot-activated lighting controller with wireless activation of the solar runway lights and a number of solar taxiway lights. This is a really key project, one of the larger residential air community projects Ablight has done, among the dozens and dozens of AV70 and AV426 systems. In this case, with using the AV426, if the air park decides to invest in a non-precision GPS approach, they can further reduce their weather minimums and really have an all-weather premier air park runway. See here the recommendation from Mark Wagner. Mark has been a great proponent of the Ablight system, and we thank him and his team a lot. A pretty fantastic place to be among the peak countries. I'll now hand it off to Benjamin.
Thank you very much, Jason. My name is Benjamin Camus. I'm sales executive for LATAM and the Caribbean territory. I'm a commercial pilot. I'm very happy to be part of Avlite Systems. I'm gonna talk a deeper characteristics that our PAPI Series 3 has. Our PAPI has been through 20 years improvements. Through this time, we can see some improvements in the components and also in the operational and in the consumption, the very low consumption that this PAPI has, thanks to the technology applied through this amount of years. So single lens instead of double, that's one of the improvements of the PAPI Series 3 components. A new LED driver board to meet FAA requirements and improve hidden lens functionality, which is very important as LED technology does not emit too much caloric energy. Instead, it converts the caloric energy in efficient lighting energy. So that's really important that we have an improved technology for hidden lens, especially in sites that we can find snow or really cold weathers, such as it is the Chilean territory, in the southern Chilean territory. We have some installation in the pole, which is very important. We can see these improvements also in the size of the PAPI, which is very efficient for transportation. And we can find different feeding supplies and power supply for our Series 3 PAPI, which can be current regulator version and also solar version as voltage version. PAPI features that we can find on this design, it can be used for military and commercial applications. The features that we can find for military are IR mode, thanks to the LED technology. The Colombian Air Force, for example, is using for undercover operations, as well as the US Air Force is using the same capabilities. Especially the US Air Force decided to acquire our portable solution, which makes it great to move the system in any part that it is necessary, thanks to its affordable characteristic that this PAPI has. For commercial application, we can offer also the tilt switch, and it has been proven a really reliable system that can be used in main airports, and including Las Palmas in Peru, that they have installed this system. Me, as a pilot, I really prefer the transition that LED can offer from red to white color. That's extremely important to understand that this is giving us a vertical guidance through our whole approach. So if we can have that information very accurate, is much more important than have this ambiguity that we can find in halogen systems. So in the options that we can offer for the PAPI, the PAPIs are often installed in harsh environments. So we offer marine grade stainless steel to resist high salty and humid environments. We have different systems installed, for example, in Bahamas. Bahamas usually are islands that are surrounded by seawater. So I will say that's a really difficult environment, and this equipment has given a very good and extreme performance. We can find different power source that we can power our PAPI. That's solar power supply, one example, which is consisting of a battery bank and a solar panel, and the option of also to be connected to a generator kit for power backup in case of extended operations, or powered by voltage and constant current. In the PAPI activation options, we can find the conventional hardwired control, and also can be activated by an encrypted 2.4 GHz signal through different Ablight wireless control system available. And something that is really interesting for me as a pilot too is that you can activate this system from your aircraft through a PALC system or ARCAL, by which the pilot can activate and control the PAPI intensities through his VHF onboard equipment, pushing the radio communication button by a predefined frequency, which is chosen by the user. So PAPI certifications are crucial because we are talking about operational safety. The PAPI equipment must be designed for outdoor installation and continuous operation in the most harsh environment. That's why the PAPI goes through a strict process of certification. And these certifications, we can find Unified Facilities Criteria, which is UFC. This applies to the military department, the defense agencies, and DoD field activities. Also is tested for electromagnetic compatibility. And of course, and no less, is FAA certification. We can find different classification of the PAPIs, and these different classifications according to quantities of light units, power source, and also temperature withstand, must go through strict environments in order to get this certification. Those environments are related to temperature, humidity, sand and dust, wind-blown rain, wind, salt spray, sunshine, and all of these are tested into a control environment, but are really extreme in order to the operational, and once that these systems are faced into a real environment, we are going to be sure that this is going to last for the next years in these harsh environments. So thank you very much. Now Jason is going to talk about the value proposition and maintenance and lifetime of the Series 3 PAPI.
Thanks, Benjamin. So in my experience as an airport operations specialist here in New Hampshire, the PAPI system was a constant inspection requirement, as the lamps would routinely go out, which was a normal thing. The halogen lamps do go out and need to be replaced by a competent individual, with the system being shut off. The lamps could run anywhere from $60 to $100 for a traditional PAPI system using halogen. So for LED, in certain environments, it makes a lot of sense to use LED over halogen. I can think of cases of the Bahamas that have been using an Avlite Series 2 PAPI for 8 to 10 years, and the remote nature of each of the island airports require, they're looking for as little maintenance and upkeep as possible, as some of those sites are not easy to get to, and the maintenance resources are hard to come by. Additionally, the halogen PAPIs require an inbuilt redundancy, because they do need to account for having lamps out. And the FAA prescribes how many lamps can be out on an individual and a system LHA for it to be running. Now, the final consideration is the safety consideration. With both Benjamin and I being pilots, we understand that the situational awareness of a PAPI lighting system is critical. Pilots do like to know, as you can see in the picture below, that there's no ambiguity as Benjamin discussed, in where they are on the approach. So in the picture below, you can see that there's 2 white and 2 red, meaning this pilot is heading right for the numbers or the 1,000-foot mark, right where they want to be on the approach. And that's an important piece of information, because again, a PAPI is not part of the airfield ground lighting. It's a part of the approach lighting system. What, you know, with the ILS, with the VOR or GPS system, it really is a critical aid. I want to thank Benjamin for joining us on this webinar, and you, the viewer. A special thanks to Mason for putting this all together. We do ask you to take a 60-second survey using the link in the description below, and to like all our videos on LinkedIn, Facebook. Follow as much as you can. There's a lot more fun stuff coming. From New Hampshire, I'd like to say a big thanks.